Samara's Secret, written and illustrated by James White and read by James White. In a cozy little home on the edge of a forest, there lived a cat named Mandu. Each day, Mandu would sit on his special window perch and watch the forest animals who came to the feeders on his porch. There were chipmunks and squirrels and birds of all types. One of these birds was his best friend, Samara, a beautiful black-capped chickadee. Samara and Mandu would talk about everything, from bird feeder etiquette to the strange goings-on of the local humans. They shared laughs, they shared tears, they shared just about everything. Mandu couldn't help but notice, though, that Samara was keeping something to herself. She never sang at the bird feeder like the other birds did. In fact, the other birds and animals seemed to shun her, and she sometimes flew off unexpectedly. Yes, Mandu was certain that Samara had a secret. Mandu was worried about his friend, but he also wanted to respect her trust. After all, she already shared so much with him. Wasn't she entitled to her secret, whatever it was? On the other hand, what if it was a bad secret? What if his friend was in trouble? Mandu made up his mind. The next day, he snuck out of his human's house, hid under the porch, and waited. At dusk, Samara flew off abruptly again. Mandu followed her down a dark path under the forsythia bush. In his efforts to avoid her detection, Mandu fell too far behind Samara and almost found himself lost. The path left the forsythia and wound its way through the nooks and crannies of the darkened forest. Mandu was briefly alarmed by the smell of smoke, but soon realized its source. He broke into a sheltered clearing in the woods, only to find a small group of animals having a musical jam session around a small campfire. Among this joyful band danced his dear friend Samara, singing at the top of her lungs, her melody so wild and free and exultant that he couldn't help but laugh with jubilation. Lost in her singing, Samara was suddenly startled to see two green, glowing eyes peering at her from the darkness outside the campfire. Her heart raced until she realized it was her dear friend Mandu. Realizing he had been seen, Mandu fled, embarrassed that he had been caught spying on Samara. Samara rushed to follow Mandu, calling out to him and catching him on the trail. "I'm so sorry," said Mandu. "I didn't mean to invade your privacy. I was just worried about you. You always avoid the other animals and sometimes you fly off with no warning. I thought you might have been in some kind of trouble." "Oh, Mandu," said Samara, "you're always so protective of me. I should have told you about the musical group, but the others were always around and I didn't want to share it with them. You see, the other birds used to make fun of me for singing off-key. Then, I found this group of musicians and discovered that I wasn't really off-key. I just had my own unique style that the other birds just couldn't understand." "Samara," said Mandu, "you have such a beautiful voice, and I love your special style. Plus, you are so brave going off to find other open-minded animals. I wish I had that kind of courage." "Well, Mandu," said Samara, "if you want to show the fearless heart that I know you have, you should come and sing with us." Mandu accepted his friend's challenge and joined the other animals in the jam session. Mandu sang his heart out, and the other musicians crowned him King of the Yowlers. And on special nights, Mandu and Samara slipped away to harmonize together in the secret campfire circle.